Hello everyone. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to build auto insurance AI assistant with RAG and LLM. So for that, I'm taking a sample JSON file which contains the policy details like coverage, premiums, and exclusions and discounts. Here, first I will load the JSON file, and then I will store it in searchable vectors, ask questions and get answers with language model. So in my use case, I am using RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation. So generally, like most language models, don't know your private data, and they often make things up. So that's called as hallucination. So RAG fixes by retrieving relevant chunks of your data from vector database, augments the model's input by adding those chunks to the prompt, generate a response using language model with right context. So let's head to the Google Colab uh, to build this step by step. See, here I'm loading the JSON file which contains the general information where the company sells the policy details. So it has all the information related to the policies which it is selling. And as I already said, like premiums, coverage, exclusions, discounts, etc. And I'm splitting the JSON file into chunks as each LLM model has fixed number of tokens. In order to fix the text in the model limits, I'm splitting the text into chunks. And here I'm using Hugging Face embeddings in order to encode the text into an vectors. So FICE is used for storing those vectors into the vector store, and also when you run a query, it looks the query into the vector store based on the similarity search. Say suppose if I'm asking a question like what are the different auto insurance policies sold in your company. So it looks for the keywords, and it searches those keywords from the in the vector store which are like similar one, and then it will retrieve the data, and then it will augment it with the LLM model. Here LLM model, I'm using this one, and I'm setting the value of temperature to 0. So what's this temperature? In RAG, temperature is a setting that controls how random or creative the language model responses should be. It By setting it to a low value, the model will be more focused and predictable. Say it will pick the most likely words which is useful for accurate or factual answers. If I set it to high temperature, it makes the model more creative and varied, but also more random. It might try less likely word combinations. And here I'm giving the custom prompt. I'm asking an LLM to behave like an auto insurance policy agent for a company called Safe Drive Insurance Co. And also asking like if the answer is not in the context, respond should be response should be like, I'm sorry but I couldn't find that information, policy details. In this method, retrieval QA from chain-time method, I'm passing the LLM model parameters. Retriever, it will retrieve the data from the vector store based on the similarity search and as a stuff. And I'm setting the value of resource source documents as true, and also passing custom prompt. So let's run the question uh, query like what's the premium have to pay for motorbike in Texas state. See if the data is present, it will generate a response from retrieving the data from the JSON file. If it doesn't contain any data, if the JSON doesn't contain any data related to that policy, it simply says, I'm sorry, but I couldn't find that information in policy details. Let's run and see. See, as it doesn't have information of motorbike of Texas state, it simply said, I'm sorry, but I couldn't find that information in policy details. Now let's change the question. What's the premium I have to pay for SUV in Texas? Also, what is the liability coverage for this model? Let's run this query and see. So what it does, it checks the uh, vector store and then it generates the response. See, based on the provided context, premium for SUVs, Texas state is for single it is 22 and family it is 34. As for the liability coverage, the policy details indicate that liability coverage for SUV in Texas state is this. So, hope you like this video and please encourage me in subscribing to my channel. Thank you.